I know you're both a pair of losers. All the Paul family suck.
And seeing that, can you imagine being involved in that area? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine those being your friends? You can't even imagine, you know, the trauma, the mental trauma that would, how that would affect anybody. Even people passing the other way.
Yeah, man, I feel for that. I'm hoping everybody's flame is good, and I'm hoping, you know, speedy recovery. That's all I gotta say, man. I gotta do better.
Tyson Fury snaps at Jake Paul after his name is linked to Anthony Joshua's car accident. Fury goes straight at Jake and the Paul family, calling out their arrogance and lack of respect. He says this situation proves life is bigger than fame or fights. His words serve as a sharp reminder of accountability and basic human decency.
They are not your enemies. They are your brothers and sisters under God. We all came from Adam and Eve. In the beginning, everybody on earth. Remember that. Spread love, not hate.
Tyson Fury is furious after Anthony Joshua's tragic car crash that claimed the lives of two close friends. He blasts Jake Paul and the Paul family for reckless behavior. While praising Joshua's survival, Fury makes it clear that life, loyalty, and humanity matter more than fights or viral fame. His message cuts deep during a real tragedy. Gerald Miller reacts emotionally to Anthony Joshua's horrific accident. With two of AJ's closest friends killed, his words reflect real pain and empathy. He contrasts Joshua's suffering with Jake Paul's reckless role in the narrative, reminding everyone how fragile life is and how fame means nothing when lives are lost.
You don't know what other people are going through. And even though AJ, you know, we're not on the best terms, man, I feel for this brother, man. Because it could have been my family, could have been my friends. And, you know, I feel like, man, it's mentally, like, kind of draining looking at this stuff all day online. And like I said, I didn't really see nothing too graphic until this morning. Was like, now I've seen a lot of crazy stuff in my life, man. I've seen dead bodies before and all that. Man, I don't even know how to even express myself.
Joe Rogan questions Anthony Joshua's condition following the accident, pointing to uncertainty around his recovery. With two friends gone and Jake Paul's involvement under scrutiny, the situation highlights the serious consequences of reckless actions. Joshua's resilience becomes the center of concern and respect.
Happened to him when he survived, right? Like, did he hit his head? Did he hit his neck? Like, what is he okay? Like, is he 100%? Or is he always going to be a little fuck from that?
Johnny Nelson speaks on the heavy human cost of Anthony Joshua's accident, stressing how fragile life can be. With two friends lost and Jake Paul's actions casting a shadow, he reminds fans that real tragedy outweighs any rivalry or feud. The focus turns to compassion and support. It's simply sad.
It's just sad. It just makes you realise how valuable life is and how things can change in a heartbeat. So when we talk about fights and we talk about beefs and, you know, these things are just nothing when it comes to real life and losing your life. So it was a sad thing to hear, a sad thing to see. God knows how it'll affect those that saw it mentally, emotionally. But you've got to think about these two men who were somebody's child, someone's brother, and that's what you've got to think about, those people that have lost their lives.
Pain Game highlights how severe Anthony Joshua's car accident truly was and the physical toll it caused. Surviving such a near-fatal crash after losing two close friends shows AJ's strength. The situation also exposes recklessness around Jake Paul, proving real-life consequences are far greater than any fight.
Through such a severe car accident there, like, alright, he's lucky enough to still be alive, but fuck me, his body must be going through a lot right there.
Eddie Hearn stresses the need to support Anthony Joshua and the families affected by this tragedy. With two close friends lost and attention on Jake Paul's involvement, Hearn reminds everyone that medical care and emotional support matter more than headlines or fame.
With the inquiries and the media, and you can imagine how many people are trying to find out.
John Fury's emotional message reflects the collective relief that Anthony Joshua survived such a horrific accident, highlighting AJ's resilience and fortune. He also acknowledges the painful loss of two close friends, while praising Joshua for enduring an ordeal that could have ended far worse. Fury's words reinforce that life's fragility outweighs fame, fights, or social media drama, while subtly contrasting real danger with the reckless behavior of figures like Jake Paul, emphasizing accountability, care, and support when tragedy strikes.
God bless you, AJ. You're one lucky lad. God bless you. I'm glad you're alive again. Shocked me, it has. Terrible. Anyway, good luck everybody, and try and enjoy the new year as much as you can and be safe.
Chris Eubank Jr.'s reaction to Anthony Joshua's horrific car crash mirrors the disbelief spreading across boxing. AJ surviving while two of his closest friends lost their lives brutally exposes how fragile life is beyond the ring. Eubank Jr. indirectly criticizes reckless personalities like Jake Paul, whose association only fuels public anger. The incident proves that fame and viral attention mean nothing when lives are destroyed. His message centers on responsibility, resilience, and standing with those affected rather than chasing headlines or social media relevance. Sonny Foz also underlines the seriousness of Joshua's condition, stressing that the crash was genuinely life-threatening. AJ, a global superstar, narrowly avoided becoming another tragic statistic. His survival reflects both luck and inner strength, while Jake Paul's past behavior draws renewed scrutiny, showing how irresponsibility can overshadow fame. Sonny Foz reminds viewers that when tragedy strikes, money, fights, and clout instantly lose value. What matters now is survival, grief, and accountability, with the world closely watching every consequence.
2 weeks ago, this guy's in front of the whole world. Netflix, millions of dollars, breaks Jake Paul's jaw in 2 places. Decides to go back to Nigeria, almost dies. 2 of his closest friends pass away in the accident. You never know what day's your last.
Sonny Foz once again brings attention to the severity of Anthony Joshua's situation, highlighting how close the incident came to ending his life and the devastating loss of 2 close friends. AJ's status as a worldwide icon offered no protection from tragedy, and his survival speaks to both resilience and fate. At the same time, Jake Paul's history of reckless conduct keeps him under harsh scrutiny, painting a picture of fame clouded by poor judgment. Sonny Foz stresses that life is unpredictable, and when disaster hits, wealth, fights, and viral moments become meaningless. The focus now shifts toward grief, accountability, and human survival, making it clear that Joshua's ordeal extends far beyond the boxing ring.
It's just sad. It just makes you realise how valuable life is, and how things can change in a heartbeat. So when we talk about fights and we talk about beefs, and these things are just nothing when it comes to real life and losing a life. So it was a sad thing to hear, a sad thing to see. God knows how it'll affect those that saw it mentally, emotionally. But you've got to think about these 2 men who were somebody's child, someone's brother, and that's what you've got to think about, those people that have lost their lives.
Gareth A. Davis reflects on the chain of events surrounding Anthony Joshua's tragic accident, pointing to the risks and recklessness often linked to Jake Paul. While fans previously debated fights and online drama, Joshua's dignity and professionalism now stand in sharp contrast. The loss of 2 close friends exposes the harsh reality behind fame and promotion, proving that viral stunts carry real-world consequences. Davis emphasizes AJ's discipline and resilience, reminding everyone that caution and accountability are essential when lives are at stake. This tragedy overshadows hype and spectacle, serving as a sobering reminder that no headline is more important than human life.
It's a very interesting and germane points you make there in this moment, Raheem. That I think what I've noticed, that obviously there were a kind of panoply of opinions about him fighting Jake Paul to take it back a week and a half. I mean, I was critical of that fight being signed, first of all, because I worried about the dangers for Jake Paul. He got his jaw broken at the end of the day, and kind of used the scars as a flag in his new moon, delusionally optimistic in his words, as he is about these things. So Anthony Joshua went to America a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, played the role which he needed to play, was very classy throughout.
Joe Rogan's blunt observation highlights just how close Anthony Joshua came to a life-changing or fatal outcome. The moment becomes even darker knowing two of AJ's closest friends lost their lives in the same crash, marking one of the most disturbing chapters in recent boxing history. Rogan's words emphasize how thin the line truly is between survival and disaster. Meanwhile, Jake Paul's reckless behavior leading up to the incident adds controversy and public outrage. Joshua's strength and sheer luck now take center stage, reminding the world that real life carries far greater consequences than fights, fame, or online feuds. Accountability must outweigh ego and bravado.
I mean...
That's bonkers. Thank God he didn't have a seatbelt on. I never say that. Thank God he didn't have a fucking seatbelt on, because if he did...
There's no way.
He would be dead.
There's
Probably,
no way.
or fucking severe.
Liam Gough delivers a heavy update on Anthony Joshua's accident, focusing on the heartbreaking loss of two close companions alongside AJ's own injuries. His remarks shift attention away from headlines and toward the human pain behind the story. The situation also highlights the irresponsibility surrounding figures like Jake Paul, whose involvement has intensified public scrutiny. Joshua's survival under such extreme circumstances shows his resilience while exposing how narrow the gap between life and death truly is. Gough stresses the importance of empathy, support, and responsible reporting, reminding viewers that tragedy is not content. It's a real event impacting families, friends, and an entire community.
Anthony Joshua injured in car accident. Two people who I believe were with Anthony Joshua were friends of his have tragically passed away. Before I carry on reading the article, the two people who have tragically passed, my condolences is all I can say to their friends and families. We'll definitely offer up some prayers for them.
Alexander Usyk's response captures the deeply personal impact of Anthony Joshua's accident, mourning the loss of two team members who were more than colleagues. They were family. His message shows the strong bonds within AJ's camp and proves this tragedy goes far beyond competition. Usyk's encouragement and prayers for Joshua's recovery highlight the human side of boxing, where compassion outweighs rivalry. By publicly showing support, Usyk reinforces unity within the sport, honoring both Joshua's courage and the heavy emotional toll of loss.
Usyk said, "This is an unbelievable loss. Sinna at Latte for two incredible people who were not only part of AJ's team, but also friends. My sincere condolences to their families, loved ones, and everyone who knew them. Anthony Joshua, wishing you a speedy recovery. Stay strong."
Showbiz the Adult breaks down the details of Anthony Joshua's crash, explaining how AJ's SUV collided with a stationary truck. While investigations continue, the focus remains on the seriousness of the incident and the tragic deaths of two close friends. The shock has rippled through boxing, not only because of Joshua's global fame but also due to reckless figures like Jake Paul adding tension to the narrative. Showbiz emphasizes that behind the money, fame, and viral coverage, real lives were shattered. Support, prayers, and respect for AJ and the affected families are essential, underscoring how fragile life truly is.
Was SUV struck the stationary truck. So I just want to give you guys the breaking news. Unfortunately, Anthony Joshua was involved in a car accident in Nigeria. Prayers to Anthony H.A. Joshua and
Anthony Joshua's accident is a powerful reminder that life can change without warning, made even more painful by the loss of two close friends. While AJ shows extraordinary strength and courage, the reckless behavior linked to Jake Paul and his circle cannot be ignored, exposing a troubling lack of responsibility. Fighters and fans alike are shaken, realizing that fame, fights, and online drama are meaningless compared to human life. Joshua now deserves privacy, respect, and full support to heal physically and mentally. Let this tragedy serve as a wake-up call for boxing. Accountability and care are not optional. Share your thoughts below. Was this a tragic coincidence, or does the sport need to rethink its culture moving forward?